All right, listen up, my friends. Yes, OpenAI released their fancy new voice assistant globally, but I say no. I am going to create my own assistant with blackjack and hookers. In fact, forget the voice assistant. I am going to hook it up to a locally hosted uncensored model like Dolphin and ask it all kinds of cool questions like how to cook Christmas cookies and make glass. Let's start by initializing our project with UV-init command and installing necessary packages using UV-add command. If you are old school, you can use the pip install command. We will use FastAPI as our backend framework, Langchain to communicate with Ollama or any other models of your choosing, and OpenAI Whisper for audio transcriptions. In main.py file, we set up an empty FastAPI application. Next, I define 3 global variables: a Whisper model, which will transcribe anything user has said into text, an LLM, which will process the query and return a response, and an OpenAI client, which I will use to convert the response into audio again. Apart from the last step, everything is going to happen on device. In fact, even the text-to-speech could be self-hosted. But since I don't have much memory left and I am lazy, I delegate that task to OpenAI. This is a quick schema of how our app is going to work. It is quite simple, but there are a lot of steps, which means if there is a bottleneck with any of the step, it will significantly slow down the processing. So make sure your computer is able to handle this, and if not, consider using third-party APIs, either for audio transcription or LLM or whatever else. In the main.py file, we define a new post endpoint, which will accept a file. When this endpoint is called, we first save the file under a randomized name, and then immediately transcribe the audio file using Whisper Transcribe method. The result of that transcription is stored in a variable called user text. I suggest you print out the transcribed text for debugging purposes also. In the next step, we give the text to our LLM. The function which will handle that is only about 5 lines thanks to Langchain framework, which is going to do the heavy lifting for us. We simply call the invoke method on the LLM variable and return the response content. Now, because we are using Ollama and locally hosted LLM, make sure to install it and download a model that your PC is able to run. In my example, I am using Llama 3.1 model, which you can easily download using the Ollama pull command. Don't forget to run Ollama serve command to actually start the API server. Otherwise, you won't be able to call your model. After we receive a response from the LLM, we need to convert it back to audio again. The way we do that is using OpenAI client by simply calling the speech create method. We pass the voice which we want to use, in our case Shimmer, and the LLM response as input text. Then we write the response into an MP3 file and return the path of the file. At the end of this pipeline, we return a FastAPI file response for the client, which can parse and play its contents. And that's it, folks. Well, kind of. We have our API fully working, but I am afraid if you want your app to have a web client, you might need to write a bit of JavaScript. Don't worry, it will be over quick. I'll just outline some important points. In the client app, no matter if it runs on web or on your phone, you will want to record the audio first. Here I am using Media Recorder to create the audio chunks from user's microphone. The user will have to consent to his microphone being recorded, which takes place right in his browser. Then, I sent the audio data as a post request to my beautiful API, which takes care of the rest. I also add some basic error handling in case there is an error. If the response is okay, I immediately play back the received response for the user. Alright, and this is how my app looks now. Actually, I better give the code to AI and tell it to wrap Bootstrap around it so it looks presentable. With that done, our app is ready. Let's test it. Mighty Intelligence, tell me how much is 1 plus 1.
A question that has puzzled philosophers and mathematicians for centuries. Just kidding. The answer is 2. 1 plus 1 equals 2.
Awesome.